Let's bring in General Jack Keane now. Sir, good morning to you. Thank you for your time. There's a lot to cover here. We'll try and get in as much as we can. Want to show you video evidence that the Israeli Defense Forces have made public. This was made public on Sunday. They believe what it shows, General, is how this tunnel right there on the ground, circled in red, leads underneath a hospital. And this is to say what they're up against when it comes to civilian targets. I want you to comment on that, and I want you to tell me, in your view, does Hamas think they're doing well in this battle right now? And do you think they are doing well thus far? Or are they on the brink of elimination?
Well, first of all, there's no doubt that they weaponize civilian structures, hospitals, schools, mosques, to obviously shield themselves from Israeli attacks. They have done this from their inception, and their sophistication has likely increased with now 300 miles estimated of tunnels that are underneath these facilities. When you look at Hamas and where they think they are, a couple of things. They're going to use the hostages, one, to get a ceasefire, and two, to get all the Israelis out of Gaza. And so they want to fight again, and they're using the hostages certainly to protect the lives of their leadership, and they'll use them also to protect a lot of their infrastructures. Remains to be seen what will happen as a result of those negotiations, but that's likely their aims. When they conducted this brutal attack, they focused on civilians, Bill. And what was the reason for that? One, they wanted to undermine the people's confidence in Israel, in their leadership, and its ability to protect them. I think they accomplished that. Number two, they wanted a very violent response. This is sinister. It's diabolical to think this way, but this is the way they think. They wanted the casualties that we are seeing taking place now because of the Israeli response, despite their attempt to protect civilian casualties. Hamas has held in place hundreds of thousands of Gazans, refusing to permit them to go because they want them to become casualties. And why? You can see it. They want widespread international condemnation of Israel. And that is taking place. It has exceeded anything that we have seen in the past. They also want Israel to be isolated geopolitically and be weakened on a world stage. It remains to be seen whether that'll take place or not. They want to stop the normalization of relationships with the Arabs and the Israelis. Certainly that's going to be delayed, but hopefully it will not end. And I think they want to form a political collapse inside of Israel with the government because of a loss of confidence of what took place, and also how the entire international community is beginning to isolate them. Those are some of the strategic goals I think Hamas is attempting to achieve. They've obviously achieved some of them. They clearly did not do this operation so the Israelis could come in and exterminate them. So they're going to do everything they can to prevent that from happening, because Hamas always wants to reattack again. And they'll use those hostages, I think, as a guarantor that that will likely happen. There's a lot to take place in front of us. It's going to take months to work through those tunnel complexes, I believe, to get to a point where you're even close to taking this, dismantling this organization. But at that time, they'll likely play the hostage card.
Yeah. General, let me just try and squeeze in a few more headlines. What Trey Yingst is reporting today, his sources tell him that they believe most of the hostages are still in the same central area in Gaza City. That may or may not be the case. That's what the Israelis believe at the moment. We have a U.S.-guided missile submarine that's now moving toward the Eastern Mediterranean. It's rare when we make that information public. You got Anthony Blinken. He was making the rounds over the weekend. He was in Baghdad, Iraq. He was in the West Bank meeting with Palestinian leadership there. He was in Turkey trying to calm the waters on behalf of Ankara and Istanbul. Sir, I just need a quick answer here. Is this effective in containing this conflict today?
It appears so far, yes, because we listened to Nasrallah, the head of the Hezbollah in Lebanon, and certainly he was threatening the use of more force, but he obviously hasn't pulled that trigger. And I think there's a certain reluctance for them to do that because of the economic situation and the impoverishment that's taking place among his own people. And he knows full well, with the might of the United States out there being very physically displayed, if Israel wants that to help them, if he unleashes his 130,000 missiles on Israel and they need U.S. firepower, they will get U.S. firepower. And this submarine that you're talking about is very different. We only have 4 of them. They're SSGNs. They used to be nuclear ballistic missile carrying submarines. We converted those 4 so that they could carry Tomahawk submarines, took the nuclear ballistic missiles out of them as part of the reduction of nuclear treaties that took place. Very, very powerful instrument of war, to be frank about it. No other country in the world has anything like what's sitting out there, and that's why we're advertising it.
General, thank you.